I talked about the sham Clinton email investigation that's been further exposed this week, but it's Judicial Watch to the rescue again. Because Judicial Watch, as you recall, has been granted discovery by a federal court judge, Joyce Royce Lamberth, to get information on the Clinton email issue and the related Bengahzi issue. Because the lawsuit that uncovered the Clinton email scandal was a lawsuit about Bengahzi. We wanted documents on the fraud story that the Clinton-Obama group was putting out on Bengahzi. And we noticed there were no Clinton emails. And our pressure resulted in the disclosure of the Clinton emails. And the judge wants to know, in granting us discovery, whether they tried to hoodwink the court in shutting the case down trying to shut the case down before they admitted they had the Clinton emails, whether Hillary Clinton's system was designed to thwart the FOIA, and whether there are other emails that can be found. And he also specifically wanted to know if Bengahzi was one of the reasons they didn't want to look at the emails or tell us about the emails. So the court is curious about what went on. And that's why we've got this discovery that we've been granted. We've scheduled 10 witnesses for depositions. And it's begun. We deposed our first witness this week. Our attorneys flew up to New York and deposed Justin Cooper. Justin Cooper is the former Clinton Foundation employee who helped set up the Clinton email server, working with Yuma Abedin. Now, Abedin testified to us. Yuma Abedin was the other State Department official close to Hillary Clinton who had an secret email account on that system. Abedin said she didn't learn about the server till later. Well, Justin Cooper's testimony contradicts hers. So his testimony isn't public yet, but we'll get it out once it is. So you learn about the Clinton sham investigation, but reassured there's a Judicial Watch investigation that until the Justice Department gets its act together, and we all know what the likelihood of that is, that will give you more information and more accountability on the Clinton email issue. March 14th, we have a deposition. We had the deposition. April 5th is the deposition of John Hackett, key FOIA official at the State Department. April 16, Jake Sullivan, Hillary Clinton's former senior advisor and deputy chief of staff. April 23rd, Cheryl Walter, former State Department director of the Office of Information Programs, key FOIA person. Gene Smolansky, State Department lawyer. Monica Tillery, a State Department official. Jonathan Wasser, who worked at the Clinton State Department senior office. He supposedly conducted the actual searches for records. Clarence Finney, the Deputy Director of the Executive Secretariat staff, again, that's the senior State Department Secretary's office, was a principal advisor and records management expert in the office. Heather Samuelson, Hillary Clinton's lawyer, who helped facilitate the State Department's receipt and release of Hillary Clinton's emails and was also involved in the destruction of half the emails that Hillary Clinton took out of the State Department. And then there's Eric Boswell, State Department security official, who strongly advised that Hillary Clinton not use her system to communicate. And of course, Hillary Clinton ignored it. Remember the intent issue? There you go. And then there are individuals who have to, and these are all people that have to come in and be questioned by Judicial Watch attorneys in person. And then there are some witnesses that we've been allowed to send questions to that are written that have to be responded to under oath. And that includes Mr. Priestap, who's a top FBI official, or was, who oversaw both the Clinton email and it looks like Russia investigations. Susan Rice, National Security Advisor of Barack Obama, who went out and lied repeatedly about Benghazi. We get to question her. Ben Rhodes, who wrote the false Benghazi talking points for Susan Rice to use, former National Security Council advisor or official in the Obama White House. He has to answer our questions under oath. We haven't forgotten about Benghazi, and the court hasn't forgotten about Benghazi. So I know it gets frustrating to hear that nothing's being done, but Judicial Watch is doing all the work here. And we're happy to do it. It's outrageous that we're doing it almost alone, usually over the objections of the State Department and the Justice Department, and frankly the other agencies that we've been investigating. I mean, for instance, we had a court ruling, a negative court ruling this week. We had asked for unmasking materials by Ambassador Power, who was the UN ambassador for the State Department, for Barack Obama, who allegedly had been engaged in a number of unusual unmaskings, which is a way of saying that the individual Americans caught up in intelligence reports or mentioned in intelligence reports were usually blacked out to protect their privacy. And it looks like the Obama gang was trying to use these intelligence reports to figure out where the Trump people were operating as it respects, with respect to foreign intelligence. So if a Trump official name was being mentioned abroad, they wanted to get it. And why were they doing that? For nefarious reasons, I'm convinced. And the UN ambassador supposedly had this outrageous number of unmasking requests for this type of information of Americans who normally are not allowed to be spied upon by our intelligence services. It looked like the Obama people were using it like Google. So the State Department wouldn't confirm or deny any documents, such documents were in existence. And the court upheld that. So this is where we stand. You get the agencies raising these classification issues, saying it's all classified, saying it's so secret that we can't tell you whether or not an Obama State Department official was asking for Americans to be unmasked from intelligence reports. Whose legal position is that? It's the legal position of this Secretary of State. I've said it once and I'll say it again, President Trump should call in these top agency officials, whether they're Secretary of State, head of the DOJ, whatever, say you need to be transparent. Stop taking this deep state approach to transparency. Stop pretending everything's classified when it doesn't need to be classified. I mean, we're hard charging in court, but when the government says something is classified, just because we whine and complain, that's not enough for a court to overturn an agency decision to keep something classified. Or in the case of this agency, the State Department, they say to even confirm or deny it would raise classification and intelligence issues and harm national security. It's difficult to get around that. So the agency officials running the show, there's the deep state, but the top state needs to take control. And we need a little help here. Congress needs to do its work, and the administration needs to do its work. Because as I said, this is a threat to the Republic, this abuse of our intelligence systems, services, the abuse of the FBI and the DOJ to target innocent Americans like President Trump and his associates during the campaign, targeting which continued and probably continues to this day.